Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to another episode of Neosland Kickstarter edition, whatever you want to call it. We've got several people here with us today, and if you're watching this live, you can join us. There is in Twitch chat links for how to get into the Google Plus Hangout, and you can ask your questions live. And we got several people here. So we got Streamin' Canadian with the awesome glasses. He doesn't say much, though. It's a silent show. Yeah. Jacques, welcome back to another episode. I would like to ask you about horse dung. We have finally made it to horse dung.
Yes.
So horse dung is actually going to be the biggest currency in the game.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Is it like each nugget has a certain value, or collectively?
Yeah. You can break little parts from it, right? And you can exchange it for like gold or something like that. You know, whatever the currency is.
You can cut it in half and get half a gold.
Is it worth more if it has good hay consistency in it?
The longer you leave it, to ferment, to settle, the more it'll be worth. The more it stinks, the more it's worth.
And we can have it as dye for your armor. I'm already thinking of the uses here, man.
Multiple uses.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, in the show The Walking Dead, they would take zombie parts and they would smear it all over themselves so they could walk through. So if you smear the horse dung all over yourself, then you can walk through a horse pasture unnoticed.
Do you know, I might actually start a business where you, instead of getting a mud spa, you could get a dung spa. That would be the business of everybody's dreams. Dung spa. just there with the dung. That would be brilliant. I'll make a fortune.
Well, there's going to be, let's put it this way, the horse dung, I'm not going to tell you guys all the things that's going to be coming from it, but one thing is definitely, like, you're going to have pots in the game. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So one of the things you're going to have is you're going to be able to plant, plants in a pot, and stuff like that, but you have to nourish them and so on. So if you put some horse dung next to it, or have that close by, you'll be able to nourish it without you going every day and doing that, Or, if you throw that horse dung in somebody's fountain that they get off the main thing, it might do something else with the fountain water.
Drop it in your neighbor's well.
A few options.
Yeah. Okay. And so.
One thing to note, though, sorry, Marky. One thing to note, though, is the horse dung, for instance, you won't be getting any horse dung in the game. Like, this is going to be a unique item on itself, right? That's going to be it, whatever you get from the Kickstarter.
Let's mention that these items that we're going over in each show, these are items that on, day number 1, you get 30 items. Day number 2, you get 29. Day number 3, you get 28. And one of them is eliminated each day. And so if you fund today, you're going to get all 30, and you can fund as little as $10, and then you can decide to up later if you want to do more. So, is that right, Jacques?
Yeah, that's correct. So definitely get into it very quickly. At least do the $10 one, so you have that item secured for you.
Okay. So we have. Did we finish up marriages and names?
Yeah, we kind of finished up on the interval and then went on to talk. Yeah, it's been discussed, I think.
Canadian, what are you thinking?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I mean, we did talk about it, but I don't think it was recorded, right? So I don't think we had actually got it recorded.
If we were in the episode, then it was, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was off. It was offline, so your viewers didn't get a chance to see it, and I don't think anybody else got to hear about it either.
Yeah,
I think we were really talking about the whole family war thing. But then we really broke it down to, because right now,
so you want the Hatfields versus McCoys, and you want to go and take their moonshine distillery, and you're willing to kill them over it.
Well, that's basically what it is in Demons. I mean, I can take over their plot of land, and by taking over that plot of land that they currently possess, I'm going to get a bonus. Like that's the way it's worked in that game, is that they get a bonus loot every day at a certain time of the day, and everybody wants that piece of land because it's generating so much, treasure for that particular family. So you can do the same thing here, right? So let's say, for example, Marky, you've got a family base or whatever you want to call it up in the mountains. Well, that's going to be really, really good for resources.
That's where dragons live.
And that's where dragons live, exactly. I mean, so if I want that, I either got to work out a deal with you, or I've got to kill your family off and steal your land. Right? I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, because obviously there's respawn and stuff like that. But I mean, maybe there can be some type of just an event or something that you never actually lose your property, but maybe there's deeds or something, or maybe there's a percentage that I get from your family or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we can certainly bring that up in another episode, one of the brainstorming roundtables.
Yeah, definitely, I like that.
And see, what the viewers want to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and you should attend. So.
I will. Well, thank you for the invite. I will definitely see what I can do to attend that for sure. Now, I did have a question about the $10 thing, right? So $10 is going to secure you all 30 items, and definitely people should definitely do that. Here's my question.
Jacques is shaking his head. What do you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's not a lot of money. Like $10 isn't a lot, Even if you're like sitting on the fence about the game, jump in and do that right away, right? And get that secured. At least you're getting all the items, and you don't have that problem, right? But then later on, you can decide if you want to change it, and you can change your pledges anytime. I think with Kickstarter. So
yeah, before the end of it, you can change them anytime. Up them or lower them, or just up them.
No, just up them. There's no lowering. Sorry.
Up them, no lower. Don't lower them. Come on.
Now I got to point out one thing: the $10 pledge does not include an account.
Right.
No, that's the only thing, right?
Yeah. So if you only do the $10 pledge, you have to wait for the game to be released and then attach that to your account. You'd probably want to consider doing whatever the lowest level is that gets you game access.
That's 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay.
So then my question is with that then. So there's the $10 thing. That's fantastic. $25 is going to get you access to the game. So here's the thing. There's people that are wondering. I'm wondering myself. There's people with Kickstarter that it's only accepted through credit cards, but I know you can also do it through the website for just PayPal. Yeah. So that's with that said, if I want to upgrade from the $10 to the $60 or the $100 or whatever else it may be, am I able to do that? Because it's obviously going to be two different payments through your website, but it's only going to be one payment with Kickstarter.
That's correct, yes. No, we haven't totally looked at that, but we'll definitely be fixing that up tomorrow, putting in maybe an upgrade version of it, right, the cost of it. We'll see how we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's not too hard to spit out a report of all the payments that came in and marriage things together. So.
Yeah, because we're controlling it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing
it on our website. It's easy for us to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so that's a good segue into saying that any of you who don't have a credit card that want to use PayPal, or you just want to use PayPal, you can do it directly at the neosland.com site.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay, Kaz has joined us. Hello, Kaz. Are you drunk? Mike is broken.
He actually changed his name so that he didn't get called drunk anymore, but there you go, he still got called it.
Okay, so, okay. Well, Kaz, I guess free up that spot and watch it on Twitch so that others want to get in who have non-broken mics. And after you fix your mic, come on back. So...
Can I just ask a question about that Kickstarter? Is there any way to link the pledges from the website to your Kickstarter so it gives a more realistic of what levels of pledges you've had?
Yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're linking everything up, and by tomorrow we'll have it on our website. So you'll see pledges from the PayPal side of the website as well as the Kickstarter. It will be updated so we can see where we're standing at the moment.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah. So, and it's good to offer choice.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys did that. So Dakota, welcome back.
Has anybody got a working mic?
I don't know.
I guess you're right about the whole silent episode this time. Like, really?
Yeah. This is, well, actually, see what it really is that I told everybody before we came on air, I wanted you all to see how long you could hold your breath. And so when I call on you, you're still holding your breath, and you're like...
They want to win that prize.
Yeah.
That booby prize.
Yeah, and then they pass out, and then they never ask their question. So, okay, whoever wants to chime in next, May.
I got some suggestions, maybe.
Okay, sure.
We can discuss. Earlier we were discussing the talk about animals or just pets or
Animal
vanity.
husbandry, when you guys got all
Yes.
embarrassed about that.
What I would suggest, or something along the lines, because it also went into like transportation, like say like you had a horse, and instead of purchasing that horse, maybe you can purchase it, from a breeder, and you actually raise that horse, and now that horse is yours. That is you put the blood, sweat, and tears to raise that horse so that you can use it as a means of transportation. Would that be something you guys would consider as to something along the animal husbandry that we talked about, where you can actually, you become one with this animal, and it's actually your way of moving around the world?
Well, we haven't done any roundtables, I think, of specifically, like I said before, and other ones, with skills and stuff like that, that's specific to your pets or like your horses or whatever you have, right? So all that, I think, will come into play once we've done those roundtables, see what the community wants from that. But I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind having something like that where you can actually upgrade your pets and so on, use them in combat as well and stuff like that. Like I always like that. The more versatility you have with your character, and I mean, your pets are just the extension of your character at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely we'll see how it goes for that.
So maybe our pets that we raise won't experience death either. So, just like we can resurrect, maybe we'll be able to resurrect our pets. We'll have our veterinary skill. That's what we'll have.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. And if we encounter any pregnant pauses, Santos, do you have any, or Saint, do you have any queued up questions from the chat?
No, everybody's been joining the Hangout, the Google Hangout. So.
Okay. So it may turn into a brainstorming session.
I agree.
Yeah.
Or actually, I do have one, actually.
Okay.
Viewer here, Elkdridge, did ask, is Permadeath going to be included?
So far as what we did the roundtables there, I don't think there's going to be any permadeath.
Yeah, I don't think in a like a first-person shooter, where, well, actually even in that, the permadeath characters in a lot of different games, they end up being taken out, of the options, because it's really not used very much. The absolute hardcore people, talk about using them, but when you look at the stats in games of how many people choose a permadeath character as opposed to one that can resurrect, the numbers are infinitesimally small on how many actually do it. Now, I know that a lot of streamers, like I've seen Usaint, I've seen Yeti, and several others that have like the timers on on how long it takes for you to get killed in a game, and so part of the whole deal is that you are working to see how long you can last and everything, but maybe that's just the workaround for it.
Well, me personally, coming from being a player in this world and being a fan of hardcore, I am a fan of hardcore. I am a fan of full loot drops when you die and all that. That being said, I don't think that is what this game is about, just from hearing all the roundtables and all the discussions today. There is a niche market out there for this type of thing. I mean, you can look at games like Mortal Online or Darkfall, where you die, you lose physically what's on your body. But all that should come with balancing and, some game implementations that can prevent people from griefing. because nobody wants to spend hours in a game and then just turn around and lose everything they just worked towards because somebody's just camping their bodies. But there is a market out there. I'm not going to say there isn't, because we've seen it with Dark Souls, we've seen it with Demon Souls, we've seen it with Mortal and all these Eve also. Like, I mean, when your ship gets blown up in Eve, it's done. So there is a market out there. I wouldn't say that there isn't, but given putting your all your eggs in one basket, or focusing on the development of the game, it could be something potentially later that we could look at. But for right now, I would say it wouldn't be.
As the game go along, obviously we're going to change a lot of things, right? So I mean, it's something we can look at a later stage, what the community maybe want it or don't want it, But at the moment, I think what I've heard so far from the roundtables is everybody is not into that right away to do that for this type of game.
But what could be done, I'm just trying to think of what the attraction is to Permadeath, and the attraction really is challenge, and to it's a challenge thing, I think, and maybe that desire for the challenge could be addressed by some stats available in the game that show players that have lived the longest, and that longest without dying, and how many engagements with other creatures and stuff before they died, who holds the record, stuff like that. So
yeah, leaderboards are a great example of just pushing the player to want to play more, because everybody wants to be the best online. Right.
I want to see my name at the top, but unfortunately my name at the top means who's died the most. Unless it's in Eve, and then I have the biggest bounty on my head, but then that equals who's died the most, because everybody wants to kill me for my bounty. So, yeah. Okay. Leaderboards, yes, good idea. Welcome, James. How are you today?
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
So, what's on your mind?
Well, on the subject of permadeath, I played a bit of Salem a while back, and there was a fair bit of like permadeath and kind of going out into the wilderness and building your own kind of farmstead and then kind of interacting with players. And well, basically, just like on the idea of that, there was kind of a system where that if a player was murdered or something happened to a player, there was clues that other players could follow that would lead people to find out who did the murder, and there'd be kind of a retribution system, so that if that ever happened, there'd be a way for for repercussions and stuff.
So some sort of bounty system, or
yeah.
Something like that. So if you're pissed off that somebody killed you, maybe you could place a few bucks of your in-game cash as a bounty on the other person, and say, hey, this bastard killed me.
Yeah, exactly.
Took my pile of horse dung. I'm really upset. I'll give you a pile of horse dung if you kill him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like I know there's a lot of people that are kind of scared of permadeath, and I kind of think that if there's ways that people can be dissuaded, or if there's like kind of cool little things that can happen as a result of people being killed, I think that could be can add quite an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Maybe like,
I think so too.
Player-made trials and judges, maybe even prisons, and who knows.
And that actually leads into the whole political system that you guys are trying to build with this game. I mean, just from listening to the roundtables and everything, you guys are basically, you're giving the community the tools to shape this game how they want. Not even just before it's developed, but while it's being, evolving. It's an evolving world. And with the idea of permadeath, it doesn't have to be to the point where it's negative for the player, which obviously it would be if you lost everything. But it can be a system that's implemented that also chimes in, just like marriage, just like families, just like shops, where if somebody dies, that's a death in the world. You guys are trying to create a living, breathing world here. So a death in the world should mean something to the actual public. So that leaves a lot open towards, like he was saying, jails, enforcing police, investigators, just all-out bounty hunters that you set a hit on somebody's head. All that just opens up a whole new world that you guys can tackle with this, which, I mean, I don't think has been done before, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to throw into the next roundtables that we have for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, wow, this is getting deep. Which is not bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just that we are coming up with these little Q&A shows with a lot of new topics to talk about and everything. And I think Jacques and his team, has an incredible amount of work cut out for them. Not all this stuff will make it into launch. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. That's it for this episode. We'll be back in a few minutes for those of you watching live. And we've got a few new people who have joined us, which we'll talk to. And so if you're watching live, don't go anywhere. If you're watching on YouTube, well, another couple hours and the next episode will be up. Go ahead and follow the playlist because not all of these will alert everyone on my YouTube channel because I don't want to piss them off with all the spam. So anyway, be back in just a couple minutes.